We want to talk to you a little bit about what is happening in Greece as well. And especially if you're a donor to Mercury One and the Nazarene Fund, we are honored to have a guest with us, Metropolitan Gabriel. You are the head of the church in
my diocese.
In your diocese. And it is in which?
It's in the capital of Athens, which is the city of Athens. It's near to the municipality of Athens. It is one of the 10 metropolitan dioceses that we have in the city of Athens. So it's based in Athens.
I was only in Athens for about 6 hours, from midnight to about 6 a.m., and I had to do a documentary quickly on the way to someplace else. Such an amazing country. I mean, I know this is obvious, but Americans can't relate to the deep, deep history. I found myself in the middle of the night, stopping my car, climbing up on a rock. We were going to do a documentary with the Acropolis behind us, and we realized halfway through we were standing on Mars Hill, which the significance of Mars Hill is.
What can I say from my country? It's not only beautiful, but has a very long history.
Yeah.
Very, very long history.
So you're in a place where most people are descendants from the 1922 genocide, right?
That took place in the whole region of the Ionian, which is the Isa Minor, as we call it. And at that time was the war, and the Greeks, they have left, refugees, and they came to Greece in 1922. The destruction of Smyrna.
Greece is having a really hard time economically, politically. It's upside down. I was there during the riots. And you also have the rise of the neo-Nazi fascists that are really taking on immigrants in a very scary sort of way. Your country has been overwhelmed with refugees. How are you holding up?
Since the last 7 years, Greece is in a very big financial crisis. And that was only enough. We have from the other side the refugee crisis. Because when I want to speak about migration, I want to make a focus on the refugee crisis, because it's totally different to be a migrant than a refugee.
Yeah.
A refugee is someone that has been forced to leave due to war, due to so many other reasons. So in Greece, for the last 8 years, has been an increasing of refugees coming by, because Greece, as Italy, is a transit country. This is not the permanent destination of those people. And they are forced to leave due to the war in Syria, due to the war in the Middle East. And many people from the sub-Saharan countries, they are passing to Greece because they want to go to a better destination. And believe me, that was a very big challenge for the Church of Greece and for the Greek people.
Suzanne is with us. She's the head of Mercury One. Is this the same area where, do you remember when they were having a problem in the refugee camps and we had to separate the Christians from the Muslims because the Christians were being targeted?
Yes.
This is the same group?
It is.
So we built like apartment buildings or something with you, did we not?
You have done an excellent work, and I'm grateful for all your assistance with Mercury One, and especially to the donors that they are listening to us, because through the money that you have been able to collect, a lot of people have found, a secure place to stay, and also what are the basic needs, the daily needs. And through the assistance of Mercury One, we have established a preschool program for people that they are refugees and they're staying in Greece. And also with their assistance, we have supported a lot of refugee camps all over Greece. Because as you can understand, this is a problem that we cannot face it by ourselves, but we need an assistance, a collaboration. And we're grateful for this assistance.
So the Christians that are leaving, the ones that we have met, they all want to go back as soon as they can. Is that what you see in Greece too?
It is true, because this is not something that they did with their own free will. Right. They were forced to leave. Everyone, it's love their country, they want to go back, but to go back to Syria to do what? It's a war zone. So those people, they are forced to leave, they flee from their countries, and now we are responsible because, we are Christians. And if we believe in God, we have to practice our faith. And the best way is to believe that in your neighbor, in the face of the other, you look Christ himself. This is the way that we approach those people. We want to help them, we want to assist them, and especially when we see a Christian that he is persecuted because of his belief, this is something that makes us outraged. We cannot tolerate this.
Have they, because we're having a discussion here in America on refugees, and we've done a horrible job on refugees here in America, I think. And we, as Mercury One, we decided only to evacuate Yazidis and Christians because we could vet. There was no way, I don't know how to vet a reformed Muslim, that there isn't really a reformed movement, but you just self-assign that I'm a reformer. And a Muslim from that part of the world is extreme, at least compared to what we expect from our neighbors and friends here in America that might be Muslim. How's Greece dealing with that? Is Greece seeing a problem with that? Because I know we saw one in the actual refugee camp.
Yeah, it's a huge problem because due to the financial crisis of Greece right now, it's very hard to respond. It's very hard to find the ways to really help these people to recover. And as I told you, we cannot manage to do anything without the assistance of our friends from all over the world. That's why I said, and I repeat, we are grateful to Mercury One. And what we have done is two sides, I would dare to say, assistance. First of all, to speak to our people, to Greece, in order to welcome, those people. Because it's not obvious for someone that comes to your country that you will open your hands and you are going to welcome him. So you have to convince these people that those are the images of God. So you have to practice your faith there. And secondly, we have to cover the daily needs, either by providing soup kitchen programs, either by providing, shelters, either by providing the assistance to get an asylum process. And we have seen so many times people that they are Christians coming from Syria especially, and they will try to pass to Greece through Turkey, and they have been in the boats. Many of them that they have been declared that they are Christians have been thrown to the water from some others that they are Syrian Muslims. So it is an ongoing religious war there. And we have to speak loudly about this necessity to protect the Christians in the Middle East. They have a history there.
Are you concerned, looking from over here, I'm very concerned that we are looking at the hatreds that we haven't seen in Europe since the 1930s and 40s. Does it feel like that over in Europe?
I would say that Europe is now trying to identify what has to do about the refugee crisis. It is just the beginning, because there are so many people, millions of people, that they are waiting to Turkey to pass over Europe. And if the European Union will not take any serious actions about the dealing of the refugee crisis, I really don't know what's going to happen in the coming years.
What is serious action? What do you mean by serious action?
Serious actions, I mean by combined actions with other EU member states, with the United Nations, with all the necessary partners, in order to find possibilities or solutions for what is necessary to be done for those people. They're human beings.
Can I ask you, what is the thinking overseas about, for instance, Saudi Arabia has not taken any. Jordan has taken
and Lebanon
a lot.
As well.
Lebanon.
Yeah, but Saudi Arabia has not taken any refugees. Why does Europe have to shoulder something that is so foreign to its culture?
I will tell you, it's not something that Europe wants to take it.
Right.
There are people that they are just leaving from their countries, and they will pass to Europe either if they will find a vehicle or a possible way, or if they will not. They will, at the end of the day, they will find a way to flee from their countries because they are dying there. I remember I said to Suzanne, for a priest which I have in Athens, he comes from Syria. His family came to Greece a year ago because if they were still remaining in Hama, in Syria, they will die. They have been threatened by the Muslims that if you stay here, you will die. So it's not something that Europe wants to have it.
So I'm not talking about the Christian refugees. I'm talking about the Muslim refugees. Yeah. There are those that are also being targeted, and so I don't want a blanket statement, but Saudi Arabia is much better at figuring out who the bad guys and the good guys are, just like Christians in Greece are able to spot the real Christian and not the real Christian much more than anybody in Saudi Arabia could. I don't understand why the Muslim countries are not being responsive to their own people.
You're right, but it is from the other hand, this is a political issue.
Yeah.
We as a church, we have to be there, stand for the people that they are in need, they are suffering. I'm not the right person to give you an answer on this political matter.
Sure.
But what can I say to you is that I will leave the politicians do whatever they believe is right, and I will deal with the human beings. with the people that they are suffering.
The churches have really stepped up all over the world. That's how Mercury One was successful, getting in and helping the refugees in all these different countries. You had to go in grassroots. That's what we did. When we were trying to approach countries and deal with the political systems, it really made it difficult to get something accomplished. We've helped and assisted over 20,000 people with Mercury One now, and we've physically moved over 6,000 people.
Wow.
In Greece alone, we're looking around 1,000. So we've gone through the churches, through the
and
grassroots.
Tell me what happened
efforts.
because we got them out. It was a really dangerous situation where they were being targeted. Tell me quickly what Mercury One did.
So refugee camps in Greece, some of the ones that we went and visited, you could see immediately the Christians were being persecuted because they were being put in refugee camps with all the Muslims. And so they were coming from persecution, escaping it, coming to Greece, but they were being re-persecuted inside the refugee camps. So we had to go in and assist to get them out, to get them to safety. They're the most vulnerable right now in Greece, and it's continuing to happen. So we've been working through the church, and we've been getting some refugee residences set up. The church is working on a new project titled Ithaca, and we've been talking this week, and we're going to be assisting them in Greece now, in Athens, with this project. This is something that we need to, as Christians, and the Greek Orthodox Church has stepped up to take the responsibility and the role, not the government, but the church, to make sure that they give them safe places to live and residences so they can rebuild their lives.
Is your heritage from this place in Greece? Ithaca, are you originally from them?
Ithaca, is island. And, the famous story of Ulysses, that he's leaving from Troy to go to his island. So it's an ongoing journey. That's why we chose this name, to show in a very symbolical way what is the meaning of this journey. And on this journey, we have to be next to those people. We cannot leave them by themselves. So this is a project that we're trying to create in Athens, especially about integration and education of those people, that they will stay in Greece.
Education is the key.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thanks to all the donors at Mercury One. If you want to get involved and help, Mercury One will point you in the right direction, and you can always donate at Mercury One in our funds that we have there. Thank you so much.
We thank you.
Thank you.